I'm Scott, the founder of Your Ball. Your Ball is a 90s nostalgic football experience. Essentially, there's 20 challenges, all with a football, point scoring system in I would say a 90s council estate environment. From build, I called Nick at One2Call and I said, you tell me what we need because I ain't got a clue. I know we're going to need phone systems, I know we're going to need internet, I know we're going to need cameras, I kind of know what we need, but I really need help in understanding why we need them and what we need them for. It was all handed the plans over. One2Call guys mapped everything out. They just put in what we needed. And there was actually things in there what I didn't know we needed. You know, the data cabling, the comms room, the phone lines, the lease lines. It's a lot. But when you know the company can just sort it and handle it, and they did. So from build to opening to ongoing, it was just taken care of. With the build being such an agile build in terms of, you know, daily things were changing, daily things were moving, it was really important to have One2Call in terms of how they could pivot and change when we pivot and change. So, you know, little things like mapping out the Wi-Fi and signal and camera points and input is really straightforward. But when you have someone like me on site who suddenly puts a stud wall in place where there wasn't a stud wall, obviously it's a nightmare. But, you know, Nick and One2Call and the team, they were fine with that. They just reworked it. And this is really important as well. It was never well, that's what you've asked for, that's what you're getting. It was always we know what you require, we know what you've asked for, but we're going to have to change it a little bit. We were always getting requested for CCTV footage of dads or kids mums had put it in the top bin. Can we have the camera footage? And I remember saying to Nick, is there any way we can change these cameras so because people are asking for them. So I did my usual, threw some ideas around, looked at what was in the market, kind of looked at how the requirements of what we'd needed, got it to a certain point, and then came to One2Call and said, look, I want to achieve a camera which records the challenge. When somebody does something brilliant, they hit a button, the camera winds back, captures that instant replay, and then we can give them the footage. From a development perspective and a creative perspective, I'm covered. From a hardware perspective and an implementation in Yard, that's where One2Call came in. Which was brilliant because it wasn't, again, it was never well, we can do you that, but here's a big bill and, you know, we're just going to charge you as you're building it. It wasn't, it was like, we really support the idea, that's really cool, that's something we'd love to work on. And, you know, within maybe a couple of weeks, the engineers were on site, we were rigging it up, we were testing it. And, we've got to a point now where we've got a live test, and then hopefully, as we understand how customers use it, One2Call will install them on every challenge. So from a tech and a hardware development, again, it was invaluable because I'd got the creative bounce board to go, this is what I want to do, and then speak to people about how I can have it done and how it can be done and how we can achieve it. And yeah, between myself, you know, a friend of mine and One2Call, we've kind of done it. I get the inside track with One2Call. I've used them before. I know they're there if I need them, and I feel comfortable. I feel handled. If there's a problem, it gets dealt with, and it's kind of, we don't have to manage it. It's managed. I would say that's the main reason. When you've got 1,000,001 things to do, IT is always at the back of the queue, and really, I don't really want to manage that side of it, but I want to hand it over to someone who it's kind of like, right, that's their bag, they'll run that, done. I would absolutely recommend One2Call, and I have recommended them on several occasions because they are very good at what they do.